Alright, so today we're going to be putting in a generator plug. So this is for inlet power only. You are supposed to make sure that you turn off the main breaker if you ever hook these up, if you ever plug this into a generator. And it does not open easily. When it is not in use, you need to make sure that the breaker that is connected to this inside the panel is off. Otherwise, if someone was to open this and touch one of these in here, they're going to get shocked. So always make sure that you keep the breaker off unless you're using it, and then make sure that when before you turn the breaker on that is connected to this, that you turn your main breaker off. But we're going to be installing this on this metal siding here. So we've already cut this hole big enough for this, but with the wood siding that's back there, it's a little bit too deep, because where I wanted to adjust it and make sure that this was going to sit directly dead on here. So what we're just going to do, because this is just a sleeve, it's not really, like the wire doesn't have to go in it, except for I'm using it to protect the wire from this metal. So I'm just going to cut it down shorter. Alright, so that's way more than long enough to protect this as it comes through the metal. Loosen up the set screw down there, and it'll pop off. Fits tight, of course. On this one, we're coming in the back, so we'll remove this gasket and install our essentially our bushing is what we're using it for. But a standard bushing is not deep enough to get through here. It is only going to protect the wire going through here. I want it to be protected going through the metal as well. So that's why I'm essentially making a bushing out of a male adapter is what they are called. Another term in the electrical field, they call it a terminal adapter. But it's a male adapter with a lock ring, just making a extended bushing. And we've already got our wood back here to protect this and hold it so that the siding won't get pushed in. I'm going to use some metal, actual screws that are used for the metal here to get it where I want it. And I'm going to put one on this side over here, and that'll be able to tighten down in good. Then I can make sure the box is going to look level. You're basically just checking these reveals, and then I'm going to put one in the top. I'm not going to put one in the side over here because 2 screws is more than enough for this. And with the direction that this wire's coming from, that screw would be apt to hit it, so I don't want to do that. Alright, so that part's done. Now we actually get to the part of hooking it up. So when you run this outlet, you're supposed to run a 10-3 wire, because this is for 30 amps only. That's all you're going to find usually at like Home Depot and Lowe's. If you have a larger generator, usually those are going to actually be hooked up with a full-on transfer switch anyway. So usually you're not going to be running this kind of a setup for that, because it's considered too dangerous if someone was to accidentally leave the breaker on. The ground lug is actually inside the panel, inside here. Let me look back here so you can see. So you can see it right there. It's just grounded straight into the outlet. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook the ground up in there. Get that part out the way. That's the part you're not really going to be able to see well anyway. then you've got your black, white, and red. There's plenty of room in this box, so you can leave 8 inches or more. I always like a minimum of 8 inches. You're going to strip them back roughly about an inch. You can do a little more possibly. And on most of these outlets, they will have it labeled which one is the supposed to be the white. On this, that you can barely see it. It looks like it's just scuffed, but that is the showing that's where the neutral hooks up. So we'll hook up the white in there. And in all technicality, the black and red do not matter which one goes where on a single phase like this. This is what's called a single phase. It has only 2 hot wires and not 3. So which one of these you hook up into which doesn't matter, but I'm going to go ahead and do it the way they show it. So it's that simple. The only thing that else that I will do to this later on, but I want to get all my exterior stuff done first out here before I do it, is I'm going to just pop this top off, and I'm going to shoot just a little bit of Great Stuff foam in here to help seal this up between in there and out here. So it's not required, but it helps make sure bugs aren't going through and all that. So aside from that, you just got to get this all lined up and down in there and tighten that screw down. And that is all there is to this. The rest is on the inside, and we'll get to that later after we've done the other outside stuff. And we'll also show you later how to make a cord for it.